Hey, how's everybody doing? Luke Marino, East Partnership, coming to you tonight about how to perform or when to perform an MTA in conjunction with an RCM program or in the life cycle of your assets. We'll talk to this topic a little bit about context of a design project and then one that is not a design project where you've already procured an asset and you own that asset. It's in your inventory. So we'll follow that up with just a quick note about some things going on here at East, and then we'll be done. So I try to keep these to 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're a minute rolling. So um, RCM, obviously something much of our industry is very familiar with. And the cool thing about RCM is that we've got plenty of good reference for RCM, and it's very effective, obviously. People are, you know, pick your books. They're all over the place. I've got Mowbray, RCM2, and I've got Jesus Safante and James Reyes Picknell's RCMR text. But when it comes to the timing of the topic, both of those are excellent references for RCM. And I love to research them. If you really want to dive into MTA, a bit more than what is covered in much of your common, or not common, that's not a good term for that, but more of your more popular RCM type text, then you're going to want to look at logistics engineering texts, right? And I've got the Bible of logistics engineering here. This is Logistics Engineering and Management from Mr. Ben Blanchard. And he does a really good job in his text of bringing the combination of these different types of analyses together in the context of a logistics engineering perspective for program development. So to keep it real simple, you can't define maintenance tasks until you've defined the maintenance need. So you're going to start with a FMEA or a FMICA. That's going to provide you with a analytical means of identifying a need for maintenance to offset the impact of some type of failure or prevent failure or to address some other type of corrective action in some cases when failure can't be addressed through preventive measures or even in some cases not through predictive measures either. And so it's really helpful to have your FMEA or have your FMICA done. And now you're starting to say, well, we've got all these perceived points of failure. These maintenance tasks can either prevent these from happening or can be conducted once it happens. Now I have to go define that task, right? So the trigger for an MTA, the trigger for a maintenance action is in that FMEA or that FMICA. So that has to precede the MTA. Then we can take this perceived or prescribed maintenance task. Let's say it's change oil, right, on the engine. And we can roll over to our MTA and say, okay, what does it take to change that oil? And we'll use the maintenance task analysis to define that procedure for us in detail, and also to identify all the resources that are going to need to change that oil to perform that maintenance task. And that's part of what the maintenance task analysis is supposed to provide us, right? Is all of the resources required to perform the maintenance task and the procedure itself. And what I mean by procedures, I mean the step-by-step directions. Now, let's say you have step-by-step directions to execute this maintenance that were provided by an OEM or by some type of independent contractor or even developed by your own staff. That's all fine. But the maintenance task analysis is going to take you through the process of actually verifying that and then validating it right out in the field once you have the asset in service. So the verification part is where, let's say you have those preset procedures, you're going to take those down to your shop, you're going to get all of your tools, your supplies, your consumables, your technicians, and you're going to bring it all together and say, let's perform the task as defined. And then you're going to time each of those steps, record the time duration for that step. You're going to make sure that the step is properly described and that it's in, everything's in a logical order. And then you're going to record all of this step by step with its duration, its resources, its tool load, its supplies, everything. And so the MTA naturally, because it dives into this level of detail, has to occur after you've gathered some extant data. So if you're in a design project or program, you have to have enough design maturity to say, this is the piece of equipment that we're going to field. This is the item that we've performed FMICA on. And now that we have all that squared away and we've prescribed this maintenance task, now we can dive into the task. We grab that extant data, those recommended actions or procedures, and we use those as the foundation. If not, we have to create them, right? So you may be on your own to create or hiring someone to create these procedures for you. And at that point, you're going to verify that this is the proper logical flow. This is the time it takes to do each of these steps, aggregate them all to understand the full duration of the task. And then you're going to perform that with your own technicians in your own op environment. And that's going to be the validation. So pretty cool stuff. Now, there's the reason why we have to do this before we can do a level of repair analysis is because the level of repair analysis doesn't define the task, right? The task is broken out, decomposed, and defined in the maintenance task analysis. So in FMICA, we identify the need for maintenance. In MTA, we decompose the task and record it and all of its resources. And then in the level of repair analysis, we would take all that information we now have about the maintenance action and say, where should we execute this action? Should it be at the O level, down on the deck plates with our own staff? Should we do it at the intermediate level where we bring in some advanced technicians to do this on site, or remove the part and bring it to their shop? Or do we have to send this off to like a complete overhaul at the manufacturer's site or at a specialized depot repair facility? So those are your three normal levels in a tri-level maintenance model would be O, I, and D, or organizational, intermediate, or depot level. And that's what the LoRa is going to do for you. So MTA kind of fits nice and easy behind that failure mode effect and criticality analysis and before the level of repair analysis. Let's say that you already have your asset, it's already in the field, you already have maintenance procedures defined. You may have even done an iteration of maintenance task analysis when you first acquired the equipment, and you've already defined your maintenance procedures. Your program is off and running, and there's no such thing as a perfect maintenance program. So iteratively, you're going to want to review this. And so you can do what's sometimes referred to as a maintenance effectiveness review, where you say, now that we prescribed these maintenance tasks to address these perceived failures, is this stuff really happening as we thought it would? Are we experiencing the failures we predicted, or are we not experiencing the failures we predicted because we implemented the right type of maintenance? Is the maintenance getting the type of mean time between failure or other type of measurement that we're looking for to make sure that the maintenance is indeed required and effective, right? So you can do a maintenance effectiveness review. And there's a type of RCM called backfit RCM that the Navy uses, where and it's not just the Navy, but it's fairly common with the Navy, where after you've already prescribed your maintenance tasks and they've been executed, you would then iteratively go back and say, did we get the failure mode prediction right? Did we get all the maintenance defined properly? And basically you're you're going back and revisiting and reanalyzing the FMIA or FMICA assumptions and outputs and making sure that everything still reflects reality, right? And then adjusting accordingly. So that would be partway through some periodicity in the life cycle. So when you think about designing something, you're starting with nothing, right? Let's say you have a fresh design. You're going to have to come up with all of this organically. You're going to have to develop this as part of the design. If you have a design that incorporates COTS items, right, commercial off-the-shelf items, and you're going to try and gather as much extant data and programming for that as you can, then you can perform your FMICA. May even be able to use some inputs from the original equipment manufacturer, and then you're going to be able to perform your maintenance task analysis to either create or verify what the OEM are either programming or not for that piece of equipment, and then ultimately producing the results of your MTA and then right into your level of repair analysis after that. So when would you stop doing this? So, once the maintenance has been prescribed and you've gotten into the routine and you've determined that it is effective, the maintenance task itself hasn't required much change. You can do some typical change management where a technician, discovers some issue with the maintenance task, or maybe something with the supply chain changes, and you have to change the supplies that you listed on your maintenance task analysis, or some other thing, some change happens with the procedure. You can iteratively go back, update the maintenance task analysis, reproduce that procedure, and everything's up to date in lockstep. You note that I put the two together, right? I didn't just update the procedure and not update the maintenance task analysis. You do them both, right? And that means that later on, when you do have either a periodic maintenance task analysis or a maintenance effectiveness review, when you pull all your documents, everything reflects the same reality, the same level of change, the impacts of those changes have been pushed into the analyses, and you've got everything recorded. That's how you keep it all squared away, right? So that 10 years down the road, pull the MTA and it doesn't reflect the reality that you've changed the procedure 3 times since then, and it's basically useless at that point if it wasn't updated. So you want to do all this in lockstep as part of your change management for your maintenance program. And then, of course, you're going to do all of this as long as it produces value, it being the asset, right? If the asset's in service, producing a valuable function for your organization, you can periodically do the MTA. Now, I'm not saying you should do an MTA all the time. I'm saying once you do the MTA, you should revisit it probably no more than 5 years, right? Just pull your files every 5 years, say, let's do a maintenance effectiveness review. Let's do some backfit action. Let's make sure that our RCM program predictions were accounted for properly, adjust as needed, revisit the MTA briefly, just knock it out real quick. Does any of this change? Does everything reflect reality? Updated. Procedures established. Everything's good. We're done, right? That iteration of analysis is done. Then, of course, we're going to ask, do we need to change anything on the backside for supporting this maintenance task? Do we have to update who's performing the maintenance? Have we gained proficiency after years of owning this thing that we didn't have when we started? And now we don't need the intermediate or depot maintainer to come in here and work on this. We can do it ourselves. Or maybe your warranty period is expired and you're just starting to do the maintenance for yourself. Well, now your maintenance program is going to take on a whole different look, right? Or the program itself might be the same, but it's different for your skilled technicians who are now responsible for carrying the bag by themselves. So you have to look at all of this in the context of your current situation, accuracy and alignment of all your analyses, and solid programming moving forward, because there's nothing worse than just repeating the sins of the past. You had an opportunity to change it, update it, fix it, make it right, and you didn't, and now you've got disparate information. Your procedures aren't clear. You now have delays in the process. People know there's something wrong with it, but they're not fixing it. All this stuff that we're trying to avoid, right, in good programming. So yeah, that's the gist of it. That's kind of when you want to time MTA in accordance with RCM programming. Get the FAMICA done. Get your maintenance procedure recommendation established, decision made, and then use the MTA to help you develop your maintenance task descriptions and identify the resources that are needed for the execution of the task. And then, of course, document that and then roll into a level of repair analysis to determine where best to do the maintenance. Now, there's another benefit of the LoRa here that people that do LoRa understand, and if those have never done one, this is an added value. LoRa has a significant ability on an economic LoRa. You have the ability to influence the numbers of spare parts through optimization. So you can use the level of repair analysis as an opportunity to optimize your spares, right? And come up with a strategy that makes sure that your sparing is properly calculated, right? So use whichever method you would like. There are several, but it's the opportunity to say, this is a valuable effort. We're going to do it now while we're deciding who's going to do the maintenance, what level of the organization is going to do what level of maintenance on the equipment. we should go ahead and account for the impact that is going to have on contracts and our selection of skilled labor. Okay, so there you go. Review every 5 years or so, and you'll be just fine. And all the rest of it is just the quality of the work you produce, right? So if you have questions about any of that, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I think I actually have a little button here to help you with that. You can reach me here on LinkedIn, and that's at the East Partnership. You can follow us here on YouTube, leave comments in the stream below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. And this whole thing is brought to you by East Partnership. Now, I do want to take this moment to talk to you a little bit about what's going on at East. Speaking of RCM, we have an RCM course coming up. We were originally going to start the course on the 7th, which was this Friday coming up for those that are watching this relatively close to the airing date. But we're going to be pushing it back a week. So instead of launching the class on the 7th, I'm getting ready to go into the system, change it to a start date of the 14th of May, and it'll run every Friday, 2 hours each Friday for a period of 4 weeks. And in between that, you'll do your own work without the instructors. So this is what you call a hybrid learning approach, where you have some live content, some recorded and self-paced content. And to make this even sweeter, I'm going to deduct the course price by 30%. So yes, this course will get you what you need to get your level 1 RCM certification through IRCC. It's presented by Jesus Safante of Conscious Reliability. Jesus is amazing. So please definitely check out the website here, and you can see our Reliability Center maintenance page to see Conscious Reliability's landing page. You'll see a categories icon. Click on categories. It'll take you to the course offerings. And you get 2 options with the RCMR basic course. The first one gets you the yellow belt, right, which is the base course, the introduction or intro to RCM. Now, that is a significant course. It is not a super basic course. This is it's a ton of information. Very, very informative. So don't let the introduction or RCMR basic fool you. It is a very, very detailed course. It is taught using this textbook. The first 10 people to sign up will get a free textbook. Okay? We'll ship that textbook to you. And I'm going to give you 30% off on the course. We just want to get this thing rolling. We want to see you get certified. That's the first option. The second option is to go for the Orange Belt certification. And that's where you provide a finished analysis, a FMEA. You'll do a FMEA on an actual case study, and you'll present those findings and your analysis to Jesus, and he'll assess your performance, and you convince him that you've got this in the bag, man. You've done the coursework. It's amazing. You've done the project. You did a great job on the project. And what this does, it shows that you can apply the knowledge that you've learned in the course in a way that is applicable to being an analyst in the field. So that's how you get certified to be an RCMR analyst. Okay? And so check it out, eastpartnership.com, and don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions if you have any. So another great thing that's going on at the course site is we've got Suzanne Grieman is just rolling on asset information management, AM 103. We are still in the introductory price. It is going to increase shortly, and I'll be broadcasting that on the website tonight as well. We're going to be increasing the course on May 15th to its full price of $500. So get it today, discounted by $200. $200. That's a pretty steep discount. With the RCMR course, it's almost $300 discount. So we're talking some serious discounts for people that are interested in getting certified before the summer kicks off. For AM 103, get it while it's hot and it's fresh off the presses, because we'll go up to we'll close the introductory price and move to the full regular price here on the 15th. So exciting stuff. With the asset management line, we have a bundle, the Asset Information Value Pack. If you're interested in AM 101 and AM 103 and you want to save a little money on the purchase, go check out the Asset Information Value Pack at eastpartnership.org, and we'll save you, I think it's right around $50 buying the classes in a value pack rather than buying them individually. And then, of course, we have Miss Sonia Mathura and her entire lubrication engineering suite, which includes oil analysis, introduction to lubricants, lubrication degradation mechanisms, and I'm going to forget, storage and handling of lubricating or lubricants. We've got like amazing stuff from Sonia. Everyone loves to see Sonia's presentations on these topics, and you can buy her courses individually, or you can bundle them in the lubrication engineering bundle and save yourself some money on the package deal. So that's kind of what's been going on at East Partnership this last couple of weeks. Last thing to mention about the site is the lifecycle management community is still posted, and I have lined it up for subscription. Monthly subscription gets you access to the maintenance task analysis course and the level of repair analysis course. One module, one entire section of those courses each week. $50 a month. Access to the website. Access to exclusive articles, exclusive videos, exclusive content, and I'm even going to be doing some live sessions exclusive for the members of the Lifecycle community. So if you're trying not to spend a ton of money on the MTA and LoRa courses all at once, you can do the subscription and gain drip content access to those courses in a way that spreads the money out a bit and get you access to more resources. So it's pretty cool stuff. Okay. That's all I've got on the topic of timing MTA. Those are all my updates for East Partnership. I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page here. Looking forward to bringing you guys another video, most likely Wednesday. I try to do these every Monday and Wednesday, and tonight we tried the 7 o'clock hour so we could try and help out some of our brethren on the West Coast and in parts west of us here on the East Coast. And we'll see. I might be returning to the 4 p.m. time on Wednesday. Keep your eye out for that announcement on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your time. And don't forget to be good human beings to each other. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.